Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This is the episode number 17, 17. After we established what is the goldsmith phenomena, until we reach the ability of goldsmiths to issue the fiduciary receipt. Regarding fiduciary, one of my very good friends have sent me a message and say it shouldn't be called fiduciary, doesn't give it the right name. We should call it forgery. I agree. I answer him. I said it's not my favorite, one of my favorite vocabulary. It's the technical description for it. They name it fiduciary. This case, we will see later, has been put for the court. Maybe the legal choose that for fiduciary. And later on, the money in your pocket, in my pocket, it's called fiduciary fiat money. Or maybe people call it funny money. Marcus call it metaphoric money. But anyway, back to Goldsmith and how, after he discovered the ability to do the fiduciary receipt, I'm not going to say what he used it for. I would use, or I call it, abused it for. There is no way to use that fiduciary receipt but to lend it to other. And to lend it to other, they have charge. They must charge for it. I'm not going to say charge interest, as everybody would expect or say. No, charge usury. I know the word usury is not in use as it used to be, not more. It's very little use usually these days. And this is about linguistic distortion, which we are human very good at. They give the same thing, give it another name which carry the opposite meaning. And that's maybe for the fiduciary as well. And this is important now. He has to charge usually for the fiduciary receipt. And this comes, as we explained in the beginning, the triangle, the Islamic monetary triangle, the connection between money and usury. This fiduciary receipt carry the promise. Goldsmiths know that promise shouldn't be there. It's a cheat. It's a fraud. It's a deception. Deceive. You give it whatever name in that concept. It is there. But the main thing, it's related to usury. And we know the British as a conservative or English conservative nation, they kept the promise which they had in the original fiduciary receipt. In the banknote today, if you have £5, because the £1 note does not exist anymore, 5 or 10, 20 or 50, and you look at it, you will find that the Bank of England, the head of the Bank of England, signed it with the promise, I promise to pay the payer the sum of £5 or £10. Then they kept that. Obviously, if you took that and go to the Bank of England and told them to fulfill your promise, he won't do much, then he will give you another note. But that record, that fiduciary receipt will never been the money, has never been the money. It won't be the money. It's not the money. It's just a receipt. And with this receipt, he, Goldsmith, have cheated the society. Because even the usury before that used to lend his own money. Now, the Goldsmiths have committed another act in the top of usury by lending nothing, because this receipt represent no value, and he give it that value, have value. What is the value of this receipt? Is the rate of usury. I will try to stick using the word usury, although anybody expect me to say interest. It is not an interest by the linguistic. It's not good. It's something bad. Usury is bad. That's why they change it, to change the conscious in the people, to change the feeling of the people. And this is, as I said, we are humans very good at. He done something scientifically as well, cheating as well. Because it's known as money or used as medium of exchange, he gave it value. But actually the money should not have value by the meaning of exchange value. Value have either exchange value or use value. By give it value, by charging usury, he changed the nature of the caliber of value as a medium of exchange from exchange value to a use value. He confused the whole thing. And I always remember when I get this story, because it's so confusing, the story of the magician of the pharaohs. سحروا أعين الناس واسترهبوهم. And this is a kind of spell. Maybe you call it something else. It's a magic. In the Quran, it says, bewitched the eyes of the people and terrorize them. This is a kind of action. He made the promise, he signed the promise, he let the people believe something which does not exist. It's a sort of magic or magician word. And this is very dangerous. Imagine how many fiduciary receipt, which is the exact banknote in my pocket and in your pocket. How many of those in the world? If you see this is cheat, then the whole world is being cheated. You have to open your imagination and see how dangerous it is. Receipt, deception, fraud, bridging, rigging, say whatever it is in a bad meaning. This is what he does. And somebody come and try to convince you this is Islamic. It does apply the Sharia condition. How come? There is a fatwa. I have countered the fatwa. I've had answered the fatwa in my book, and you'll find it in my book. I'm not going to waste and give more details. It doesn't need fatwa. It's for sure. Islam wouldn't accept such action, wouldn't accept such abuse. And doing so, he default in too many ways. Legally, fraud and cheat is illegal. Accounting, he had to cheat. Because if you create value in the double entry, you have to put something against it. That by creating the value, you had to put it as a debt, which nobody has. You haven't given you money as for somebody to be in debt on it. You used nothing, and this is exactly, they call it nothing. Because I don't believe nothing doesn't exist. It's an illusion. It's something mysterious. It's sort of a magic. It's a fraud. Within that concept, this is what money is today. When I say the money we have in our pocket today, which they call it fiduciary fiat money, I call it illusion. It is fraud. It is deception. It is cheat. This sort of perception is now with money. Then, after that, Goldsmiths get away with that. Why? Not deliberately, because people don't know. And this is one of the social phenomena. There's a lot of similar phenomena which we should take advantage of and use it, not abuse it. And the important the phenomena is the better use we can, and the danger abuse we can suffer from it. Then the whole thing, when I say change the whole world, yes, it has changed the whole world. It's becoming everywhere. Everybody in the world uses money today. And that money is not real. It's an illusion. It's a usury. And for Goldsmith, whatever he believes, usury is prohibited in Judaism, in Christianity, in Islam. Not just something light prohibition, it's a very strong prohibition. Goldsmith has deliberately committed a usury without his money. By money, he created as an illusion. Then it's a double act. Is even, I'm not saying just usury, is worse than usury what he's done. And this idea might be somebody would call, what a coincidence, what a chance. There's no chance. There's no coincidence. Everything in this life has been planned, has been designed to test human. We go back to the will we have been given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be tested. How are we going to be tested? Then you have to have a test and given it choice in order to see you did. Are you going to do a good deed or a bad deed? This is actually the way to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, through that test, by choosing to do good deed. Another thing, this sort of phenomena is what I believe when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, وَفِي أَنفُسِكُمْ أَفَلَا تُبْصِرُونَ. In your own self, don't you see? Don't you realize? A lot of ulama took that from the physical point of it, like the eyes, the ear, the tongue, the cells, everything in human. But this we share with animal, with plant. Then وَفِي أَنفُسِكُمْ أَفَلَا تُبْصِرُونَ. It should go beyond the physical, which we are unique at, with this human science, this phenomenon. How this phenomenon comes and how we use it or abuse it. I will just put it more, amplify it more. Look at the phenomena of being Khalifa, living in a hierarchy. We have to have authority. This is a phenomenon. We should relate to that. If we can't live without that, we can't live without authority, we can't live without the hierarchy. This is the nature of human. And we have been tested in that phenomena. If we use it, the whole society will flourish, prosper. If we abuse it, that's what we got. Unfairness. We commit a lot of acts which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't approve. We create a lot of problem, environmental problem. In everywhere, ظهر الفساد في البر والبحر. Corruption has spread in land and sea. This is the phenomena, the social, the human science phenomena, which I think it's rather to وَفِي أَنفُسِكُمْ أَفَلَا تُبْصِرُونَ. Not the physical we share with others, but this is the unique human being. And this comes with being Khalifa. This come with the social dimension of the individual. You can't be fully human living as an individual. You need to be a member of society. And this social dimension generate these phenomena. And this phenomena you either use or abuse. This, you are as a human, or we are as human, the only creature being given that choice. And it's up to us. And now, to guarantee we use the phenomena, not abuse, there is no other way by following the Sharia condition, by following the divine rule, by applying do and don't according to what Quran and Sunnah say. This is very important to understand in general the human phenomena and to explain this dangerous phenomena which occur in the human history, which we call goldsmith phenomena. Next episode would be the 18th, and we will start again from the fiduciary fiat money or fiduciary receipt. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.